Oh God! Welcome to another wonderful episode of House of Decline. It's me and Steven.
Hello. Hi.
Where it's the classic duo, the classic binary, the classic... We are a dramaturgical dyad.
Correct.
One of us is a happy-go-lucky moron, and the other is a kerfrumpton curmudgeon. I just said like a Chuck Wendig word right there. I feel great.
Yeah, don't describe me that way.
You're a kerfrumpton curmudgeon?
I'm not kerfrumpton.
You're kerfrumpton. That's you're Peter Kerfrumpton all the time.
Is that good?
Yeah, I think that's
good. Is that
good.
a play on Peter Kropotkin?
No, it's a play on Peter Frampton.
Peter Frampton.
Peter Frampton.
I do
feel like we do.
I do me feel. Mm-hmm. I do me feel.
I always wanted to do... in Toronto, there's a city of Brampton, and I always imagine like a local concert called Brampton Comes Alive. And it's like all the Brampton acts around, and they're just like a lot of Indian guys doing cover bands of like Radiohead and stuff like that. Because Brampton is a very heavy Indian population. Just like 5 Indian guys doing exit music for a film.
Mm. How's that one go? Do you remember
Brampton comes a wake from your sleep. Wow,
who would ever divorce that voice?
Who would ever divorce that voice?
Yeah, and
that wonderful voice. That's how he fucks, you know. I'm gonna fucking come. Yeah, can you imagine Tom York moaning during sex? All of his breathy moans during sex. It's me, Tom York. I'm fucking you right now. I'm fucking you. It's me, Tom York.
Maybe he has a deep speaking voice.
Maybe he does. Me, Tom York. Oh yeah, me and the blokes in Radiohead. You know, smoked a packet of fags, and we recorded OK Computer, and it was really good for us.
It was good. All that guitar stuff on there. Wow, so much guitar stuff going on.
And now Johnny. We anti-BDS, we pro-Israel, long live Netanyahu, we always loved him.
What? Did they do that?
that is actually true. Johnny Greenwood's wife is Israeli. So you're canceled for your Israel takes, Radiohead.
So does I guess Radiohead doesn't not perform. They don't not perform in Tel Aviv.
They don't not perform. Yeah. We got Big Thief to stop performing though. Woo! Woo!
Yeah, we did that.
We did it.
Yeah,
we did that. That was us. That was us personally.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought our dynamic was similar to the comics of friend Keith John Stack. He has his lesbian characters, Leslie and Brienne. There's a dumb one and a mean one.
Cool.
That's us.
Yeah, you're the dumb one, and I'm the dumb one. And then the other one you said is smart and funny and good looking?
They're smart and funny and good looking. Yes,
okay.
Precisely. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. But I think that's nice. I think it adds to the back and forth. And speaking of comics, we have a very special episode today. Because we've
every episode is special.
Yeah, every episode is special. But we've interviewed comic artists before. But we're interviewing 5 comic artists today. We've got 5 comic artists.
5 people on the docket, huh?
Yeah, 5 people on the docket. They've all made webcomics that, have gotten out there. Their names have gotten out there. They're very famous in the webcomics world. 5 unique individual voices that, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. We're going to talk craft. We're going to talk a lot of craft today. I hope you like craft, because it's going to be all over this week's episode as we explore 5 individual, unique, wonderful voices that are real, that are real voices in the webcomics.
That's right, 100% real voices. Yeah. Who's the first person we're interviewing, and what's the name of their webcomic?
Well, we're going to stir a little controversy right here because, this person has created a little bit of trouble. A little bit of trouble in the politics sphere.
He's one of those controversial webcomics?
He's one of those controversial webcomics artists, in the vein of Ben Garrison or like other conservative, or Mallard Fillmore. We have Manosphere, the comic, and its author, Jeb Huntley.
Jeb Huntley, so glad that you are in the studio today with us to discuss your webcomic manosphere, which I believe is a term that was popular for about 1 year in 2017. How did you take that term and ride the railroad of success all the way to its endpoint, which is a lot of money town?
The path to a lot of money town is, paved with a lot of regrets. So, the thing is, when I was writing manosphere, what really resonated with me about the term was that it was a big sphere of men, like a katamari of men, and they were all together, and that's what I thought we really needed as bros, as bros who are under siege by all these hoes,
That's an interesting statement. So the sphere is a Katamari-style collection of dude bros?
Yeah, it's a collection of men supporting each other. And, have you ever gone out in the woods with your buddies and, you're shooting arrows and you're hugging a lot. You're hugging and crying. You're doing the primal thing. And I thought that's what we need. What if you could have that experience all the time by just being in a semi-sentient hive mind of men?
That's very interesting because as a young lad, I probably would have appreciated that, because what I would do is take my metal music stand and go out into the woods and beat the trees and cry because of how much practice classical piano I was being forced to do.
Oh, you were a stand tree puncher as well?
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
A classic.
Well, what happened was then I actually beat the music stand so badly it was bent out of shape, and I tried to put it back together. And it was always crooked from then on, serving as a reminder of the impotent boyish rage at being forced to practice classical piano for hours each day.
Well, let me tell you something about impotent boyish rage. I channel that a lot. It fuels a lot of my ideas because, I go to a lot of truck stops. You can't go to a truck stop anymore without guys coming to suck your dick,
And, I heard in the New York Times that truck stops are slowly being shut down because of President Biden. Did you hear that?
Well, if the New York Times says it, I believe it. I love the New York Times. It's my favorite. Yeah. You wouldn't think that of me because of my outward... Would you? What did you assume about me because of my ridiculous voice?
Well, I assume you're wearing a ridiculous suit.
Well, that is true. That is true. I am wearing a ridiculous suit. It's leopard print. It's got a leopard print jacket, and it's jeans, but it's pink denim. It's pink denim. This is how Jeb Huntley dressed.
I got a different idea of what manosphere was going to be. Maybe you can describe the comic a little bit. What kind of things, characters?
Oh, no, it's still about men's rights. It's still about how men are being bowled over.
Okay.
Men are being bowled over, a lot of the time, But the thing about my accent is suddenly sometimes I'm from Baltimore, as well. Sometimes I'll just shift it up and be from Baltimore.
I don't know where that is, but so does the comic have any main characters or a main character?
It's mostly about the sphere and about how you'll see a man. You'll see a man getting bullied on the street, like a woman will be coming up to him and saying, you're less than masculine.
Yep.
And he'll feel really bad, and then the manosphere will come and it'll just smush her. And, then the guy joins the manosphere, contributes to its power. It's like we got a trucking convoy across the USA, toot toot. Except it's, roiling bodies of men, passing
but they're all
each
supporting
other.
each other.
They're all supporting each other as well. That's the beauty of a sphere, is that no one is supporting no one else more than anyone else,
That is the beauty of a sphere.
That's the beauty of a sphere, Don't fear the sphere. That's what we say. That's what's on our merch is don't fear the sphere.
Is it got kind of like the sickle, like the Grim Reaper's sickle?
No, but we can make a version for you if you want that version.
Oh, here.
Why would you want a Grim Reaper sickle?
Don't fear the Reaper. It has the sickle.
Oh, like Blue Oyster Cult? Are you a fan of Blue Oyster Cult?
Right, you're right.
Oh, that's, because I love the New York Times. I love Blue Oyster Cult because they're also from New York, my favorite state of the Union.
What?
New York culture. Everyone loves New York.
Well, does the sphere in your webcomic ever travel to different cities like New York?
Oh, yeah. He travels to New York, travels to Albany, travels to Buffalo, meets up with Vincent Gallo in Buffalo, and, he has like a really real talk with Vincent Gallo.
Is that where Vincent Gallo lives?
Vincent Gallo, Buffalo 66,
Oh, okay. So he may or may not actually live there.
He probably lives in Los Angeles because he's a big movie star. I love Vincent Gallo.
Yeah, he's a great man, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, the manosphere represents male power in all of it. You know what I should do is because you know how they use the Mars symbol for man, right?
Is that a symbol for a planet?
It's a symbol for a planet, but it's also a symbol for a man because it's like a circle, but it has an arrow-like penis jutting out of it.
Yeah, okay.
So it has this arrow-like penis. So maybe the manosphere could get like an arrow that it would use to stab women.
Oh.
Stab, negative women who are being harpies to beautiful, beautiful men.
I think you should maybe not do that idea.
What, you don't like the stabbing women idea? You
No.
think that might prove to be a little too controversial?
That might, I know you want your webcomic to be picked up by your favorite newspaper, the New York Times.
That is true. The New York Times often publishes webcomics.
Well, it would be their first, I think, I was going to say.
I think that's what we were trying to do, this whole manosphere project. We were trying to shake up rattle some cages, get into the New York Times, get so good at comics get so good at manosphere comics that we get into the New York Times, and that's still the dream.
You said your name was Jug?
Jeb Huntley.
Oh.
My name is Jeb Huntley.
I thought it was Jug.
It wasn't Jug Huntley. That's a common misconception.
That's your more famous, richer brother.
It's the people. Well, yeah, that is Jug Huntley. My brother, he was a jug magnet. He said, my parents named me Jug, so I might as well go into him.
And
jugs. He did.
Jugs of all sizes.
Jugs of all sizes. That's the thing is jug manufacturers before were only making jugs of one size. And he looked at the market and said, man, what if you could get all your jugs in one place? And,
I got a jug job and my jug size is increased.
That's amazing. You can get as many X's as you want on those jugs as well. 3X, 4X, 5X, doesn't matter. Although one guy came in asking for a 14X, and he got the old side eye because that would be a very high proof alcohol.
Okay, well, Mr. Huntley, it's nearing the end of our episode. It was so interesting to hear you speak about manosphere, but as is our custom, whenever we invite a webcomic artist, we ask them about a particular webcomic that we've selected, and the webcomic I have selected to ask you about is Billy the Heretic. Have you ever seen Billy the Heretic?
No, it's Billy the Heretic. I'm looking it up right now.
Billy the Heretic is a webcomic about a boy who is adopted by a family of rich international Jews.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, you don't want that. The manosphere is against that type of thing because, you know about what they do. You know about what they do.
The manosphere?
Circumcision, which is manosphere anti-circumcision. Definitely.
You need as much mass as you can because of the property of inertia.
Absolutely. If the manosphere even lost one foreskin, it would be disastrous.
Well, okay. That's...
Not one foreskin lost is the motto of the manosphere.
Has Mr. Huntley, have you ever been described as hyperbolic?
No, I have been described as a convicted rapist. But, other than that, not so bad,
That's an interesting question. However, we do not have time to question you further. Please check out Jug Huntley's comic called Billy the Heretic online. And also Manosphere coming to the New York Times in July of 2022.
All right. Love y'all.
Goodbye,
wow,
Mr.
what a great interview with Jug Huntley. I love that guy. He's got some issues,
Well, Jug is his brother.
Jug is his brother, right. That is Jug Huntley. Jug Huntley, the famous jug magnet, making all sorts of X's. All sorts of X's. You know, very famous. He's like an Elon Musk figure, you know, though, because it was really the engineers under him that made the jugs, and he was just, you know, he had the name recognition. He'd always be saying stuff like, "I'm Jug."
Yeah,
that was his motto. They'd have that on billboards. It was just his smiling face going, "I'm Jug," and that was him. Up next, we have a representative from a comic form that died out a long time ago, but some strong-willed individuals are keeping it going. It's the gaming webcomic, and we have with us from the comic Gameosphere, we have Clyde Wilkins.
Gameosphere by Clyde Wilkins is one of the most iconic gaming webcomics of the aughts. That's the time period of 2000 to 2010, which was fertile ground for webcomics because of a little something I like to call the internet. Now, Mr. Wilkins, thank you for being here. You said are you the actual author of Gameosphere?
Yeah, I'm the author of Gameosphere. It was really inspired by the fact that in the early aughts, you had all these Yanks, all these American comics talking about, "Oh, we're American, we love games, you know, oh, we're so into games, we love them so much." And I thought, you know, give the old Queen's English a try. Maybe the Queen's people, they could get into gaming webcomics and talk about Sonic, talk about Mario, talk about the Mario Bruvs, as we call them in England.
Bruvs, of course.
The Mario Bruvs. That's the flavour that you get in England. You wouldn't get that in America. They call them the Mario Bruz, like B-R-U-H, like the kids do.
All the way back in the aughts, they were saying bruh.
They were saying that in the aughts, but there were some early adopters. There were some early adopters of that term, and
right.
You know,
it did used to be bra, right? Remember, it used to be pronounced bra.
No, that never hit in England. For a brief time, we were saying bro jinkles.
Okay.
Bro jinkles in England. That was like a thing amongst our hip youth, the chavs, as we call them. They was like, "Hey, bro jinkles, come up with me."
Do you remember Brocephus?
Brocephus. People said Brocephus in reference to the philosopher, the Greek philosopher. You know, and that's the other thing with the British gaming webcomics is that, you know, we're smarter, we're more educated. We have a better education system than America. So we're making references. We're making crazy references to guys like Josephus and
Mosephus,
the famous Greek philosopher Mosephus. The famous Greek philosopher Moesha, which is where the singer gets her name.
Right.
Most people don't realize Moesha gets her name from the famous.
She was a prophetess that could foretell the future based upon the augurs of sheep entrails. Moesha.
Absolutely, and that was like, we talked about Moesha a lot in the gaming webcomic because they were going to make a Moesha game, and everyone thought, oh, it's the singer. And we, as our sly British folk, were like, no, actually, you missed out on this reference that you would have only gotten with the superior British education system.
They missed out on the reference?
On the reference, yeah.
How did you ever do one about Halo?
Oh, yeah, lots of Halo webcomics. Like, so many because, you know, the British love tea. And so teabagging, natural joke. Natural joke right there, you know. Did you have your afternoon tea bag, we would say, and we'd all have a laugh, and then we'd make our tea, and then we'd put our real-life balls on each other's face, or real-life bollocks on each other's faces, you know?
Something I like most about English football is how the players do teabagging when they do a successful tackle.
Absolutely. It's a big part of English football. I remember, you know, in Leicester City, you know, they were teabagging all over the place.
You have a Leicester City there?
Yeah, Leicester City. Everyone there's named Leicester.
Everyone there is named Mo of Leicester City.
Mo Leicester. Oh no! Oh, you're thinking of old Mr. Jimmy Savile. You're thinking of old Mr. Jimmy, another great, and he was a character. For a while he was a character in gameosphere.
Of
because you're like,
course.
oh, Jimmy Savile, he's a beloved figure. Let's have him talk about gaming. What if Jimmy Savile was saying stuff like, I don't think Final Fantasy 11 was that good, and people cheered. But then we found out it was a nonce, and so we had to take down those comics. We had to donate money to the victims.
Right.
That really took a lot out of it. We had a lot of Jimmy Savile comics,
I'm
like
on the
30%.
gameosphere website now, and the Jimmy Savile comics are actually still up, but there's just a big X through them. You can still read the whole comic.
Well, yeah, we figured, take it's like depicting Mohammed in England. It's sort of, you can't depict Jimmy Savile anymore, or else, it's bad juju.
Yeah, because adherents will burst into your office.
They will burst into my office, the anti-Jimmy Savile people,
and molest all of you.
It's a real problem in England, the Jimmy Savile molestation crew.
Because if you depict him, he's like their holy figure.
It sets off this epigenetic memory of molestation in British people. And, they're instantly triggered. They see the face of Jimmy Savile and, the Kill Bill music starts playing. That's definitely one of my favourite Quentin Tarantino movies is Kill Bill.
Really? You ever put him, or her, I guess you could put Quentin Tarantino in the webcomic, but I guess I was more referring to the actress of Kill
Referring
Bill.
to the bride, Uma Thurman.
The character doesn't have a name other than the bride. Is that correct?
No, she's called Beatrix Kiddo
Oh, okay.
in the movie. Have you seen the movie, Stephen?
I saw it.
Stephen, have you seen the movie?
I think I saw it. I remember making fun of my English teacher in 9th grade because all that she was doing was talking about Kill Bill. And, I made the motion with my hand like chatting. And she got really mad at me. But I was tired of being taught about Kill Bill in English class, frankly. I wanted to be taught about...
You wanted the classics. This would have never been a problem in the British education system. You've gotten much better references.
Yeah, I wanted it, great expectations.
Great expectations.
Yeah,
it's great. It's not just okay expectations, it's great expectations.
Yeah.
That's a book about a little boy that works for an old bag and then everything works out for him. It's a classic British experience, you know?
It's almost Shakespearean,
Yeah, and I thought the thing is, the gaming webcomics market has bottomed out, Also, since Brexit, it's been really hard. Brexit has been really hard on the gaming webcomics.
It's hard because you can't export them directly to the rest of Europe right now.
Yeah, now we get taxed on webcomics. We get taxed on gaming webcomics now. It's been a really bad deal. Bojo is blood on your hands. The gaming webcomic community fears you, and it's only gaming webcomics too that they put this tax on. The bloody goddamn continental people.
Yeah, that's right. You guys don't even have continental breakfast now. You have only English breakfast, what's in it? Can you go over just what's in an English breakfast?
Oh, yeah. So the full English breakfast, well, first off, for me, it starts with gaming.
Okay.
That's the first thing you have to consider, is that, for me, a full English breakfast includes gaming, all sorts of gaming. So, but, we got the tomato, as we say.
Of course. Thank you for pronouncing it the American way first so that I would understand you.
But for your run, yeah, because people don't know. People don't know at first. So we got the tomato. We got the shit pudding. We got the shite pudding.
Okay, thank you.
The classic shite pudding, yeah. And we have the Welsh rarebit. The Welsh rarebit, which is has a little bit of shite pudding on the side.
Ever have a beef Wellington in the morning?
I've had a shite Wellington in the morning.
That's where you wrap the shite in puff pastry and
That's where you wrap the shite. Yeah, you wrap the shite in mushrooms and puff pastry. It's delicious. So it's a great umami flavour.
I love
Absolutely.
I love umami because it was the British who discovered umami. Yeah.
Did we? I thought it was the Japanese.
No, it was well. I guess technically, I mean, Admiral Thornton demanded it from Emperor Yukihito at gunpoint. He demanded umami, but ever since then, it has been taught in history books that the British discovered it.
Well, the British discovered the savoury meat flavour, which goes with our general bloodthirsty quality.
So, just like we end every interview when we interview a webcomic artist, I would like to ask you about a webcomic, a horrible webcomic like the first
Horrible
one.
webcomic.
This
Horrible.
one, of course, is called
horrible.
The Freckled Finger. Have you ever heard of The Freckled Finger webcomic?
No, what's the freckled finger? What's the freckled finger?
Well, I think it's so bad that it was pulled from the web entirely.
It's on the bad webcomics wiki. You know it's bad if it's on the bad webcomics wiki.
It is on the bad webcomics wiki.
Well, here's a comic. It's a bunch of it's LeBron James, famous basketball player LeBron James, and he's pointing at a bunch of children. It's going, Jordan was right. You kids are good at this because they made his sneakers. So it's pointing at how LeBron is a hypocrite, I suppose. I don't understand.
Is it about child labor? Is it about how Michael Jordan made children make shoes for him?
I don't understand. You can't. All of the links are broken. There's only one comic you can see, and it's this LeBron comic. I found that usually when people are very mad at LeBron James, they've usually got a lot going for them. They've usually got definitely a lot going for them.
Well, it's okay to be against LeBron James because he's a billionaire now.
Yes. Well, the thing about gameosphere, it was never intended as an anti-wealth comic. We wanted to be wealthy. Okay. So I don't really agree with what you're saying there.
You're pro-billionaire.
Don't really agree. I'm pro-billionaire because, that's who makes our games. I love Gabe Newell. He's $1 billion. He's a fat guy just like me. He's 500 stone just like me.
You 500 stone?
I'm 500 stone.
Wow. Holy.
That's why I do the webcomics, because I can't get out of my house. I can't get up under my own power. I just have a tablet perched on me stomach, and it's all I really need, bruv.
Yeah, well, you weigh 7,000 pounds. That's.
You wouldn't think that would be physically possible. I'm the fattest man in the world. I'm the fattest man in the world, and I also make a very popular UK gaming webcomic, Gameosphere.
All right. Well, you said your name was
Mr. Clyde Wilkins.
Clyde Wilkins. It was a pleasure for you to come on House of Decline. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much
for talking to us about manosphere, which you can find if you just Google manosphere.
I think that was gameosphere. I think Clyde Wilkins' comic was
I'm sorry, manosphere was Jug. Yeah,
manosphere was Jug.
Gameosphere.
Jug Henley. This is gameosphere. There's a lot of diversity in comics. But for a while, comics were very dominated by male voices, and it was very bad.
Oh boy,
it was very bad because you didn't have a lot of women voices.
I'm nervous as to who we have next.
You're nervous as to who we have next?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's a lady? Are you made nervous by ladies?
That's not exactly why.
I mean, you interviewed her before this, so you shouldn't be nervous right now.
I wasn't aware I did that.
Did the interview go poorly?
I think I just had a short-term memory loss.
Yeah, there you go. You go. You're explaining your misogyny. I think you could learn a lot from this next comic artist.
You're intimidating your improv partner.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that.
So, and if there's any comic genre that the ladies dominate, it's the autobio genre, talking about your life, what you do, the things that you do, the things that you love.
Right. They're kind of like blogging in a way.
Yeah. It's slice of life. And that's what people need. They need to be reminded that their mundane existences actually contain the key to solemn understanding. And, that's why we have the author, Katie Huffrin, of My Lifeosphere. And we're going to talk to Katie Huffrin about her.
Okay, say the name slowly so I'll remember it. Katie Huffrin.
Katie Huffrin.
Huffrin. All right, I'm huffrin' and puffrin' in anticipation with this interview with the author of the Lifeosphere comics. It's, ladies and gentlemen, Clap your hands together when you're listening to the podcast like a weirdo. Katie Huffrin.
Hi, it's me. It's Katie Huffrin. Hi, I do my lifeosphere.
Hi, Katie. Wow. Glad you're here with us today to talk about my lifeosphere, which you can find at mylifeosphere.net.
My life is just so crazy. I do all sorts of crazy things. You know, I walk my dog. I go to church. I enjoy Bones. I'm a big fan of Bones, the television show, and the object, and the you know, you can hold a bone in your hand. You can whittle it down to make weapons. You can make knives with bones. You know, and that's just my life. It's a lot of bone whittling.
Do you where do you get these bones from?
Oh, just around, you know, bone areas. You know, obvious. I'm not digging up graves, people.
What's a bone area? What's a bone area?
Oh, you know, there's just areas where you can find bones all around.
I'll tell you where
Many
you can
people
find a
don't
bone
know
area.
about bone foraging.
I'll tell you where you can find a bone area.
You're being sexist.
No, I'm not.
You can't. I swear to God, you can't be a fucking woman in this industry without men bringing up bones when you're just talking about the bones that you find and you whittle down into weapons, and you have some fucking interviewer.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you do with the weapons, the bone weapons?
Oh, I just admire him. I display him. I admire him, you know.
That's cool.
Conversation piece. One time I was digging up a bone, and, you know, sometimes life happens, you know. Life happens.
Yeah, as you do when it's been spherized.
Yeah, another woman bone hunter came up to me, and we were talking about hunting bones, as you do. And we were talking about how we've always felt marginalized by the male bone hunter community. Because, you know, it's a boys' club. And not unlike the webcomics industry is also a boys' club.
Yeah.
And that you can't call yourself a bone hunter without people making fun of you like you just did.
Well, I got a bone area I could show you if you want.
Okay, I'm slowly warming up to your sexual advances because, as we all know, women love a bad boy. Women love a bad boy. This is slowly happening. This is slowly happening over the course.
That's how you do it. You just tell the same. You know about the rule of 3 in comedy. It also applies in romance. If you tell a joke 3 times in a row, by the 3rd time, you guys will be married.
Absolutely. It applies to slurs as well. You know, you say a slur once, not good. Say a slur twice, even worse. Say a slur 3 times, you know, you got them laughing. And, you know, that was the source of a big controversy with my Bone Hunters comics. Because as a white woman, I feel like I have the... Because I understand oppression, I can use the N-word, you know?
That's interesting.
People had a lot of... And they were famous. They got famous at the time, my N-word strips, as they call them. Yeah.
I am slightly curious, but due to the current climate of the time, perhaps we shouldn't discuss further the N-word strips.
You don't want to discuss... What about the N-word strips makes you nervous, Stephen? This is also sexism. This is also sexism. Men telling white women they can't use the N-word. You know, and I wrote about this is what I was talking about with the other lady bone hunter in my comic.
Uh-huh.
You know? And I'm not saying it now out of respect for you. I know you can't handle it.
I kind of thought my lifeosphere was going to be about canning vegetables.
It's about that, but it's also about saying a lot of slurs. You know, that's part of my life, too. That's an indelible
slurs,
part.
Hunting for bones, a slice of life with...
slice of life.
Katie Huffrin?
With Katie Huffrin. And, you know, sometimes I do use the bone weapons to take little slices out of people. Which is, you know, it's ironic because it's a slice of life. And, you know, I shouldn't balk at the bone hunter thing being used for... you know, sexual imagery, because I use that all the time in my strip as well. So I'm sorry, Stephen, I exploded at you there. Because, you know, Carrie...
I got a bone area. I got a bone area for you, if you know what I mean.
You caught on. You've won me over. You've won me over with your jocular punching down.
Oh, it never
You're punching
gets old.
down, but I love it. I love it.
It never gets old.
So the thing about you carve the weapons, you take the slices of life from people, you consume them down in your throat gullet, you do the rituals to Koth. You do the rituals to Koth, your snake god.
I do mine to Payman, the King Payman, from Hereditary.
Oh, you did it because you saw Hereditary.
Yeah.
I was worshiping Koth way back.
Huh.
Way before any of you bitches were talking about worshiping any, because I feel like Hereditary made a lot of people think that they were smart for knowing about Payman.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, he's not the devil, it's Payman. Bitch, I've been worshiping weird guys since before you were born. Get my wine, worship a weird guy, dig up some bones, make them into weapons, get a slice of life. That's all a day in the life of Katie Huffrin,
Well, something that's kind of cool. I should have asked this to the previous guest, the gameosphere guy, but Payman is a character in Genshin Impact. Have you ever played Genshin Impact?
No. I love girl anime. I love anime that only girls like. Which is have you ever heard of the anime Bone Hunter?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's an anime that girls like. Girls love Bone Hunter.
Okay.
And that's really where I got inspired to do my bone hunting, because the main character is androgynous. They're male, but they're androgynous.
Would you say that you have bone envy?
I didn't. What are you trying to pull some Freudian stuff on me, Mister? I don't get that. I only like lady philosophers like Shulamith Firestone.
Firestone. That name sounds familiar. That's like a chain of stories. Is she related to the?
Yeah, she was. She got her philosophy money from the tire store. I don't like to bring it up. It's like
that'd be funny. It's just like all stuff off the back of the tire store's brochure.
Mm-hmm.
Like number one philosophy is no refunds on tires that have seen over 50 miles. Okay, that's her number one.
There you go.
Tenet.
What I want to do is get a lady tire franchise going, because they don't have tires for women. I feel like all tires are marketed towards men.
We should turn every single industry into targeted based on different identities that you can hold. So every different identity should have its own store of that item. It would really create a lot of jobs, because you'd have to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different kinds of stores. That's the tire store for this kind of person's identity. This is a tire store.
Yes, you would have
right.
different identity, and you see, that's the spirit of capitalism. That's what identity capitalism is getting to. Is competition. Because you're in a big corporation, you can't be your own self. You can't let your freak flag fly. Go dig up some bones, take a slice of life from somebody. You gotta get out there. I'm an entrepreneur.
Oh. That's a cool way to call something.
an entrepreneur. You never heard that term before?
I have not.
Look, I'm just a lady bone hunter, trying to make it in a male bone hunter's world.
With your webcomic called My Lifeosphere.
My Lifeosphere.
Well, Katie, now's the time when we interview comics coming to the close of the interview. We ask them about a webcomic that you may or may not have heard of to comment on. And today the webcomic we picked is a webcomic called Gamer Chicks.
Gamer Chicks? They sound cool.
It stars Suiren, a hyperactive yaoi fangirl. Are you familiar with yaoi?
Yes, but I don't approve of it because I hate gay people.
Damn.
I straight up hate gay people. They disgust me.
So you wouldn't, I guess you wouldn't be call yourself a yaoi fangirl.
No.
Maybe you would be
only
more
heterosexual sex here. Only dicks in this pussy. Only bones in this bone hunter.
Hey, now you see. See, I knew we could communicate.
We eventually got a rapport going. Through humor, we got a rapport going. Maybe the genders aren't so different after all.
I tell you what. I got a bone you can hunt. So you remind me more of the gamer chick Kirei the snarky, level-headed roommate.
I'm such a Kirei. Such a goddamn fucking Kirei. Oh my god. It's unbelievable. Does she love wine too? Does she love wine?
No, she's interested in only doing 3 things. Reassuring the viewer that she's totally a girl. And 2, fending off boys who are only interested in her boobies.
Oh, I'm always doing that.
Yeah.
Know? I'm always hitting them with my bones. You know, that's why you need your bone weapons.
You're always mutilating them.
I'm taking their slices of life. If gamer chicks had bone weapons, this wouldn't be a problem. And you know, that's why I needed to get my comic out there. You know, fuck rape whistles. Get a bone sharpened to a fucking point and stab it in a man.
Yeah,
stab it in a man.
Right up through the chin area.
Up through the chin area. Yeah. That's all part of my lifeosphere. And, you know, sometimes you'll just have a comic of me washing dishes and being like, dishes.
Cool.
Oh, no, dishes.
Oh, no,
I hate dishes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod today.
Thank you. You can find me. You can find my lifeosphere at ireallyhategays.com.
Oh, okay. I thought it was mylifeosphere.net. So...
no, that is actually a Russian site. Don't go there. They will steal your information and they will use it to stop Hillary.
Yeah, that's what they did with all that information.
That's what they do. Hillary stoppers. Ooh, Hillary stoppers.
I know. It's like they're like a cork in a bottle of fun.
Yeah. That's what let me tell you, if Hillary had her bone weapons.
Oh yeah,
would have won 2016.
They took away her bone campaign weapons. in the bone wastelands of Michigan and Wisconsin and Ohio.
See, you said you didn't know about bone areas, but you know about bone areas, Steve.
Hey, I got a bone area for you to investigate.
Oh wow, that Katie Huffrin, amazing. I'm glad we got some much needed vag on this.
But that was a tough interview for me. I thought nearly at times I was going to lose my cool.
It was a bit hostile. Yeah, you had some. It sounds like you two were at odds for a bit.
Yeah, but now we're dating.
That's amazing. I think that's great. You're really shaking things up. I get the distinct feeling that she's a stable and normal woman. Who is, definitely not me.
That's correct. What's the next comic on the docket?
The next comic, it's sort of like the gameosphere comic, related cousins of the gaming webcomic. It's the anime webcomic. You know, we all love anime. We all love cartoons from the East. We love how they depict their characters. We love their dramatic, snappy dialogue. We love the convoluted plots, and we love casual sexism. And that's why we have...
You do seem to love that.
I do love casual sex. When anime, I'm only tuning in for the sexism. I go to Gurren Lagann All Sexism Supercut, where they just show all the sexism.
Now, you'll have to excuse me in the upcoming interview because there's a lot of references that I miss because I'm not quite a full-fledged member of the Japanophile community, which has a special name, and I believe it is related to the name of this webcomic, which is...
Otakusphere.
Otakusphere. Very cool. Very cool name. Very unique name when it comes to webcomics.
Absolutely. Just as unique as all the other comic names we've had.
And what's the name of the comic artist?
His name is Jinx Fallows.
Jinx Fallows.
Jinx Fallows.
Jinx Fallows.
Yeah, Jinx Fallows. Great webcomic artist. They're not Japanese. He draws in sort of a westernized style, like Avatar, The Last Airbender, and he's a little touchy about that, as you'll hear during the interview.
Well, let's not waste any more of our listeners' time and jump right in. Mr. Jinx Fallows, I presume?
Hi, it's me, Jinx Fallows. How are you doing?
It could be better. All the truck stops are closing because of President Biden. But I'm getting over it. How about you?
Oh, that's okay. I only know about truck stops from truck stop anime.
Okay.
You know, there's, you know, My Smile Precure Truck Stop Warrior, and there's Truck Stop Kyoku, Truck Stop Kyoku no Kamigo. And it's, you know, what you see in these truck stop animes is, you know, at first you're like, what the hell? You know, I'm just seeing guys getting sucked off constantly. But the protagonist gets better and better at sucking off the guys. And, you know, you really feel for the protagonist. So,
What's
you know,
the little protagonist's name? I can only imagine it's like a boy with father issues.
Yeah, he's a boy. His dad was, he was the best truck stop dicksucker in Japan, you know, and he's struggling to live up to that legacy. Mm-hmm. You know, Keisuke Mononoke.
Okay.
You know, it's all about the journey of Keisuke and how he goes on to win the Suck Festival 49.
Wow.
It's at a truck stop that's a giant stadium. It's a giant stadium that's also a truck stop.
That's cool. Those are the best truck stops, like the Thunderdome 3 style truck stops.
Well, you know, I only know truck stops from anime. I don't know any
You
real
don't know
truck stops.
any other cultural references lost on you.
I don't know any other Luckily, anime is, you know, so wide ranging that I haven't seen A Clockwork Orange, but I've seen Smile Procure Clockwork Orange no Kamikakushi, and
that of course informs you of all you need to know, really, when you get down to it. Like, I was making the Mad Max reference, but you probably have seen Kodiko Mad Uiku Max, right?
Yeah, that was a great one. Yeah, that starred Meru Gibsono, who is the Japanese equivalent to Mel Gibson. Meru Gibsono. I wish my accent was better. My accent is atrocious, you know.
Your Australian Japanese accent?
My Australian Japanese accent. That's how many people think that Japanese people speak in a Japanese accent, but it's actually they all speak in an Australian Japanese accent.
Yeah. Why is that? Is that because of the imperialism?
They just decided it sounded better.
Oh.
They said, you know, the Japanese Imperial Committee got together and said, fellas, you know, Australian Japanese is so much cooler. There's guys out there like Joji, you know, pink guy, who I know from his anime, Supero Pink Guy no Ichibari, you know, because I don't watch YouTube, except unless it's anime YouTube.
So, here's an interesting question. What are your top 40 animes?
Okay, we're going to get into my top 40 animes right now, and this is a very considered list. At number 40, we have Sheath Holder. Sheath Holder was its English name. Of course, its Japanese name was Rawagui Kamue. So in Waragui Kamue, you know, it was about a protagonist, and he had a sheath, and, you know, you needed to do sheath training back in feudal Japan. It's sort of like a Chambara epic, you know Chambara. You know, I've never seen Seven Samurai, but I've seen Agent Seven Samurai no Goku Desu, so I think I have a pretty good grip on it.
Is it that Seven Samurai? That's a good one. You might want to branch out into different kinds of media. What is it keeping you from consuming any other media besides anime? That's my real question.
Straight up, the titties aren't there. You know, you don't see gigantic. Really, the thing that holds my attention in anime is that you'll just have a character that has gigantic breasts.
So IRL titties aren't there yet.
IRL titties, no. And also, you know, IRL titties, you know, they age, they suffer, you know, but anime titties are forever, you know. That's the motto on our website, you know, anime titties are forever.
Well,
I've never had sex, but it doesn't matter.
Let's dive into the comic itself, otakusphere.
Otakusphere?
Can you tell us a little bit about your comic?
It's about an American. It's about an American boy living in Japan, and his name is Jinx-san. His name is Jinx-san. He's a little bit of myself in this character, and eventually, what he does is he struggles to become the best Japanese guy there is. He's like he's a white guy that wants to become the best Japanese guy, and what he does is he defeats a series of stronger Japanese guys until he gets to the head Japanese guy.
Just an ever increasing, like, what was it, Tower of the Dragon that Bruce Lee?
He goes into a pagoda. There's a lot of pagodas where he's fighting his way up a pagoda.
And he's fighting just sort of more intensely Japanese guys.
Yeah, like he's just, until eventually he fights Hirohito himself. He's got to fight Hirohito.
Is that the most Japanese a person can be?
Yeah, as everybody knows, Hirohito is a character from the anime World War II no Goi no Shintu desu. And, I really identified with him. He had a really interesting worldview.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe you can speak more on Japanese identity and whether or not, because, whether or not it's an ethnicity can be up for debate at times. Some Japanese people don't consider it to necessarily be an ethnicity.
Well, that's what otakusphere really seeks to explore, is that anyone can be Japanese. It's like Ratatouille, which I know from Ratatouille no Kinkyu desu.
Okay.
I haven't seen the original Pixar movie, but they have one where, like, the anime rat, one time he falls onto the lady chef's boobs and accidentally grabs her boobs. And that really kept my interest, as a viewer.
That's interesting, because I actually saw the competing anime about Ratatouille called Kuroratsuji.
Kuroratsuji, yeah, that's a great classic one. That's a Jinx-san recommended. That's number 26, actually.
Wow.
On my list of top 40
On your list,
anime.
we skipped a bunch, but what's 25?
25 is Putino Mori, where a teenage Vladimir Putin has to live with a dark spirit, and they're roommates.
And it's like a demon butler.
It's a demon butler, yeah. Actually, yeah, you got that right. So it's Putino-san, and he's living with his demon butler, and there's a lady across the hall with huge boobs that he's nervous talking to, and his demon butler, is constantly giving him encouraging advice and saying, I'm a yokai, I do yokai stuff. And Putin's like, I don't know about that. I'm just a nervous teenage boy who's awkward around women.
But he's also the best at fighting.
He is the best at fighting, and he finds his confidence of it. He fights a series of progressively stronger Ukrainians.
Oh, in the pagoda?
In the pagoda, yeah. He goes to a Ukrainian pagoda, and he fights a series of progressive. And then, after he defeats the ghost of Kiev, he is finally reunited. He is reunited with the woman across the hall with huge boobs, and he feels them. That's
evil
his
people
reward.
Were keeping him, were sanctioning him, and keeping him from the hot neighbor across the hall.
Yeah, because Ukraine represents, it represents repressment. It represents repressing nature because, nobody fucks like a Russian.
Yeah, repressment is the noun form of the verb to repress.
It's repressment.
Repressment.
Yeah. It's repressment. That's what a lot of anime is.
Repressitude.
I mean, you talk a lot about the culture of Japan. You're talking about repressment. That's why you got to draw characters with huge boobs.
Because of the repressitude.
Because of the repressitude, exactly, of Japanese culture.
Yeah.
And, that's something that Jinx-san in otakusphere, he uses his American penis abilities to get all the Japanese guys really horny.
And that's
their
where
birth rate skyrockets.
That's where the sphere part comes in?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a big sphere of Japanese sperm, and, they walk into it. Women are just walking into the spermosphere.
The spermosphere?
Spermosphere, and they're getting pregnant, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I wish the manosphere guy could hear about the spermosphere.
Yeah, I have an ongoing beef with the manosphere guy.
Webcomic beefs are like, it's such a tragedy when two webcomic artists you like a lot have a beef, and then they start making webcomics of their guys killing their other guys.
Oh yeah, I like the spermosphere and the manosphere. The spermosphere totally would wreck the manosphere because it's liquid, so it would be able to mold itself into any shape, like the T-1000, which I know, of course, from Terminator 2, which I should say Terminator Knee.
Okay.
Terminator Knee Gaiden.
Okay. Cool.
Terminator 2 Knee Gaiden, which had the T-1000. Or as he's called in Japan, the Hasu 1000.
Hasu.
The Hasu 1000. He can mold into any shape, and that's basically the concept of the spermosphere. It would get inside the manosphere and burst it apart.
That's interesting. The spermosphere, it just reminds me so much of one of my favorite things, which is a takoyaki sphere.
Absolutely. The delicious takoyaki sphere.
It is
The
itself a
octopus ball.
sphere. It's kind of maybe redundant to say the takoyaki sphere, but whenever I go to a Japanese restaurant, I always order takoyaki spheres. I say, waiter.
That's how you have to order it in a Japanese restaurant.
Oh,
you have to say, you have to say to them, garçon, which is the Japanese word for waiter. You say garçon, and you say, "Can I have some takoyaki spheres, please?"
Yeah,
And
do you
they'll
bow?
say hi.
Do you bow?
Yeah, you bow. But because I'm a gaijin, I don't have to bow as much because I'm special.
Is that an insult? I thought that
No,
was...
a gaijin is a term of, when I went there, that's what they all kept calling me, and I'm great.
Okay, well, I'll have to look that up later. But Jinx
Jinx Fallows.
Fallows.
It's Jinx Fallows.
Fallows. Mr. Fallows, it's come to that time where we ask our guest webcomic artist about a webcomic they may not have heard of before.
Webcomic I may not have heard of.
Yeah, have you heard of this one? Kansas O'Flaherty, Secret Agent.
Kansas O'Flaherty, Secret Agent. No, but I have seen Kansas-san Monogatari no Kamikakushi.
And that is, I believe, the Japanese version of Kansas O'Flaherty, Secret Agent, which was a weekly strip for 4 months on Salon.com.
Kansas O'Flaherty. I'm looking it up right now. I don't usually do this, but I'll do this for you.
You don't usually use the computer.
I don't usually. Well, I might see something that's not anime.
Oh,
and
yeah, you have your computer parental controlled for any website.
Any non-anime thing I don't want to intake. The art in this is very not anime.
I'm sorry. Stop looking. Stop looking.
Okay.
You might pollute yourself. You might pollute
I'm
your
polluting
mind.
my body. I'm polluting my body. All I can say about this cartoon is it's definitely not anime.
Well, you can only find it on the Internet Archive these days. But if you do find it out there, dear listener, be warned. It is not anime.
Actually, the Kansas O'Flaherty character in Japan was called Sendai O'Flaherty because she was named after the Japanese province of Sendai.
What knowledge, what a mind we have on today. Jinx
I love
Fallows.
Japan. I love the East.
Well, Mr. Falls, it was a pleasure, and I'm sorry we don't have any more time to talk about otakusphere with you.
That's all right. Look, I'm running from the law right now. They raided my hard drives. It's getting a little real right now, so I should leave anyway.
Best of luck. Always erase your hard drives 7 times.
The Jared rule. The old Jared. Well, Jinx Fallows, wonderful guy. It's amazing. We're doing this on Zoom, but you can smell him from across Zoom because he's not bathed. He's a big nerd that doesn't bathe.
I'm not a disgusting nerd. I'm just a disgusting old fat man who has no interests.
That's what we all are. And if you keep listening to this podcast, that's what you will become too.
That's our guarantee to you or your money back.
Yeah, you're going to turn into a big troll. You're going to turn into a lumpy, pimply, shoulder hair, picking your nose, sitting with your ass down and your spindly little legs jutting out the side of your body, You know, you're going to be shaped like a big, meaty gumdrop, and that's your life now. That's your life now. Well, we have one more comic artist, you know, someone who's also in, you know, my lifeosphere. It's an autobiocomic. It's not specifically a comic about feminism. You know, feminism plays a role in it. But we wanted to get somebody that was opposite of the manosphere to round out the episode. You know, somebody that's on the other side of things politically. You know, someone who may have strong ideas about women and how they should be treated, which is better, frankly. It's better, frankly. And, you know, as a stark contrast to manosphere, we have girlosphere. And its author, Girlos Alexopolous.
Mr. Alexopolous, may I call you Girlos?
Yes, you may call me Girlos. You may call me Girlos Alexopolous.
I love your name. Can you maybe, before we even begin, just give a little bit about the history and background of your name?
The history of Girlos. So, my father was Russian. My mother was Greek. They immigrated to Mexico, where my original name was Girlo Alexopoulos, which Girlo is a Russian name, but they changed it. They went to Mexico, and so I have all three accents in me. I have a very indeterminate accent.
That's
just
good.
general, very indeterminate. And as a result, they thought it was Carlos, my name. They thought it was Carlos, but it was, no, it was Girlo, but they couldn't pronounce it. So it through osmosis, it became Girlos. But that worked out in my favor because I love the ladies. I love the ladies. Hey, I'm getting you tips to love the ladies.
That's fascinating.
It's a fascinating heritage, a fascinating and beautiful heritage of Girlos.
It just totally explains your accent too. Russian,
Totally Russian, Greek, Mexican, all together in one. All together in one accent, boy. And that's how you do it.
You must have picked up some very interesting slang growing up there, but let's dive in to the meat of
the meat of Girlos, yes. It's souvlaki. It is souvlaki, but it is on one of those Mexican shearing rods that they got from the Lebanese.
You mean like the cooking?
A rotating kebab spike.
Okay.
You put those kebab spike in your penis, you are rotating all day.
That is a fascinating proposition. I may have to take you up on later. You say you have rotating humans.
Yeah, you get one of your kebab spits, and you know you put your penis, you sound yourself. You know you gotta stretch yourself with sounding. We have special sounding rods.
How long does that process take?
The special sounding spits, and depends on your penile stretchiness. Some people have natural penile elasticity. Your penile elasticity. Thank you. You're using the scientific terms. It's good for Girlos. Girlos likes the scientific terms. So you sound yourself, you know, you're stretching out your urethra, you're going, wow. I like to go, wow, when I stretch out my urethra. Like it's going, wow. And then you put it on the spit. You're on the spit. You got to clamp. So you have muscles in your penis. What many people don't realize about what you may learn in girlosphere is that your penis has muscles in it that you can use to clamp down on spits, on various sounding spits that we have. And you've heard of kegels. Well, these are called your fagels.
That's a Shakespearean character, is it not?
Yes, Fagel. He was a Shakespearean character.
Mm-hmm. Am I right about that?
Absolutely, you're right about Fagel being a Shakespearean character. That's you remember the classic play Fagel and Juliet. We study it in Greek philosophy class. Because, you know, it's about Fagel, you know, sacrificing himself for romantic love. And, you know, that's why I'm a feminist. Because really, Girlos, at the end of the day, loves the ladies. And, you know, the only way to truly love the ladies is by letting them do their own thing. That's what Girlos believes. That's the Girlos guarantee.
And how does that guarantee manifest itself in your webcomics?
The guarantee manifested. So there's a guy, and he's me. He's Girlos. You know, he's going around everywhere. And he's talking to women. You know, he's just talking to women and treating them like humans. He's saying stuff to them like, I am not objectifying you. I am not objectifying you at this moment. So a lot of the comics are like him. He'll just wander out. Girlos, who is me, but it's also him because you have Avatar, in your comics, and so Girlos goes up to these women and says, "I am not objectifying you." And the women, they always look happy. The happy Girlos isn't objectifying. They feel safe. They feel safe with Girlos.
Wow, women feel safe with Girlos.
Women feel safe with Girlos. That's on our T-shirts. We have a T-shirt where it's me, Girlos, and he has arms with 7 beautiful ladies. 7 beautiful ladies in his arms, and he's saying it's always feel safe with Girlos. Girlos will not molest you. That's the 100% Girlos guarantee. Girlos will not molest you.
A lot of guarantees happening, like
guarantee for Girlos. No, I will not objectify you, not molest you, do none of these things. None of these, because that's how much I love the ladies. I love the ladies so much I won't even molest them.
That is noble. If I ever heard of something so noble before, listener, let us know at houseofdecline@gmail.com if you ever heard of anything quite as noble as Girlos's guarantees.
Girlos's guarantees. You got guarantee 1, I'm not going to objectify you. Guarantee 2, I will not molest you. Guarantee 3, I will not push you into STEM. I will not pressure you to go into STEM. There's a lot of pressure for women to go into STEM because they're underrepresented. But a lot of women, they want to be doing their humanities degrees without feeling so much shame. So, like, as a patriarchal figure and as somebody who loves STEM myself, I'm a big fan of STEM. I love science. I do science in the morning, science in the evening. Girlos time is science time. But I will not pressure you.
Girlos,
but if you
the
ask
science
me,
guy, that would be a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of room for science comics out there. You got science video game guys, you got like Vsauce, and you got science video guys, but you don't have a lot of science. You don't have a lot of video comic. Don't have a lot of video comic science guys, and that's what I'm trying to do is Girlos.
I guess the only real science guy is the XKCD guy, who is currently suing us, so we're not allowed to talk about him.
Yeah, we can't talk about. Yeah, you got in a lot of trouble with the XKCD guy because you depicted his characters with huge penises. I saw that.
We did. He
big
took
stick
umbrage.
Penises.
He took pretty big umbrage at us depicting all of his patented stick figure guys with these giant penises that were solving physics problems.
That's good. You broke Girlos guarantee number 4, which was I will not show you my penis if you do not consent to it. I want to show you my penis. That's in there. I want to show it to you, but I will not show it to you if you do not consent.
And how
Louis C.K., big problem with him, did not follow Girlos guarantee 4.
Who?
Louis C.K., another famous Mexican hero of mine. Before he went out and showed his penis non-consensually to people.
Well, I thought he was hiding behind a bush.
He was hiding behind bush all the time. That's what people accuse me of for being a male feminist. They say I'm hiding behind bush. I say no.
Oh, I see what you did there. Well, Girlos, it's time that as I have done with every other webcomic guest, is I need to ask you about a horrible webcomic that I found from the Horrible Webcomics Wiki.
That is for Girlos to judge. It's for Girlos to judge if it is a horrible webcomic or not.
And I have a webcomic that ended just after 7 comics. It is called Motherfucking Mario.
Motherfucking Mario? That sounds like if Mario was maybe a bit lewder. I could get into that. What if Mario was a little sexier?
Motherfucking Mario is one of the best gaming webcomics of all time.
Does he Mario, but he say motherfuck?
He gets pissed on by one of the Mario characters.
Oh no. That's bad.
Yeah.
Girlos guarantee number 6. I will not piss on you.
Without your consent.
You broke Girlos guarantee number 6. I will not piss on you without your consent. I want to piss on you. Look at these 7 beautiful ladies in my arm. I will piss on each of them in a second, but Girlos guarantee number 6 prevents me from doing so.
7 beautiful ladies for 7 motherfucking Mario webcomics.
Exactly. That's 7 motherfucking Mario webcomics, for each more beautiful than the last.
It's amazing, these webcomics that are just like stills from a video game that they've decided to put text on.
They loved doing that back in the day. Girlos Gaming, I had Girlos Gaming back in the day.
Really?
When I was there, like? Yeah, I had my gaming webcomic. It was a lot of it was where we got the ideas of the Girlos guarantees, because there's a lot of molestation going on in gaming right now.
There is?
Lots of molesting. That's something we talk about on girlosphere. Is like all these spheres coming up. We're like the anti-sphere. You talk about all these spheres coming up, but we're using the power of the spheres. The girlosphere, it can't be beat because it's intangible.
Well, Mr. Girlos,
Girlos alexopolous. My brother is also actually a webcomic artist, and he's no good. We don't talk to him because he does not follow the girlos guarantee.
He's the black sheep of the family.
He's the black sheep of the family. He's molesting women. He breaks girlos guarantee number 2 daily. He's molesting constantly.
Yeah, he's always like touching baristas.
That's his deal. He wants to molest baristas. That's his dream in life. He got so good at art so that he could depict himself molesting baristas.
He also has committed the error of depicting himself as much skinnier than he actually is. I don't know if you've noticed that.
That's why I depict myself as fat as shit. That's the Girlos Guarantee 7. I am less fat than I am in my comics.
That's awesome.
Follow the Girlos guarantees, baby. You will never be ashamed.
And we can, of course, follow Girlos at twitter.com at girlosprime85. That's GIRLOS Prime 85.
There you go. And what a great thing to cap off our wonderful webcomics episode. So varied, it's such a varied form. You have so many wacky characters in there.
Yeah, I was barely holding it together for almost all of those interviews. And folks, if you like podcasts, if you like webcomics, you can get a lot more of those if you go to patreon.com/House of Decline. You can get a daily webcomic for as little as $3 a month. You can also just check us out at houseofdecline.com.